Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was born in Macedonia. Alexander was taught by the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle. The most powerful empire on earth was Persian Empire, which lasted from 7th century to 4th century. It stretched eastward to Central Asia and westward into Egypt and Libya. The Persians were the greatest threat to ancient Greeks. However, in less than 8 years, Alexander vanquished the Persian Empire. The decisive battle was Isis 331 BC, when the Persian entire Darius III was forced to flee. Alexander traveled westward into the Egyptian desert oasis of Siwa. He consulted the oracle of the temple of the god Zeus. This oracle told him he was son of the god. On the silver coin, Alexander is depicted with ram's horns, which were related with the god Ammon. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great invaded Egypt, which at that time was part of Persian Empire. However, Persians' rulers were so unpopular, the Egyptians welcomed Alexander to be new king. He was crowned as king of Egypt in Memphis. Next he traveled northwards, and he founded Alexandria 332 BC. Alexander founded about 20 cities, which were named after him. Alexander the Great left Egypt before Alexandria was built, so he never saw his city. He died 8 years later, 323 BC, in Babylon, and his body was brought back to Egypt by his general Ptolemy. He was firstly buried in Egypt's capital Memphis for a few years, and then he was reburied in Alexandria, which became Egypt's new capital. Although Alexander's tomb was very beautiful, over the centuries it disappeared, and today no one is sure exactly where it was. Foundation of Alexandria. Alexander's dream. When Alexander and his army camped next to small Egyptian village of Rhodotus, Alexander had a dream. He dreamt Greek poet Homer appeared and told him the mainland opposite the island of Pharos would be an excellent place to build a city. Then he immediately gave orders to build the new city. Heptastadium. The island of Pharos was joined to the mainland by mole breakwater causeway. Alexandria has 2 harbors. Over the centuries, the mole was covered with silt. This area has become solid land, and Pharos is no longer an island, but joined to the mainland. The south was an excellent site for the city. Alexandria had access to the Mediterranean countries through its 2 sea harbors, as well as access to the rest of Egypt via the inland harbor on Lake Mariot. All the trade and goods transported from Nile River to inland harbor in Lake Mariot by boats, then by ships from sea harbor to Mediterranean, making Alexandria a very wealthy city. Dinocrates of Rhodes, who the architect had built Alexandria. It had 5 quarters named the first 5 letters of the Greek alphabet. The streets lay in crisscross pattern. The most famous quarter is Royal Quarter,